Even though the 10 ring on the Vegas face is the same exact size as the X ring on the 5 spot, people still don't enjoy to shoot it. And even Cole Fetcherell and Steve Anderson created a hashtag Archers Against the Blue Face. But why do so many people not enjoy shooting the 5 spot? Because we're a bunch of pansies. Totally kidding. The 5 spot is just a whole nother game, and how I like to put it, it's a whole nother mental game that throws you a curveball. Instead of all indoor season preparing for Vegas, NAA Indoor Nationals, shooting 3 spot, any World Cup events are all 3 spot in the verticals, now we're shooting 5 arrows an end. Now 3 plus 2 is 5, 2 more doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but when you're trying to shoot perfect shots and hit that tiny little X ring, those last 2 shots are extremely hard after only shooting 3 arrows for the entire indoor season. So here's a couple tricks that might help you this indoor season and in preparation for Lousiville, Kentucky. Now what I've been doing lately is really upping my arrow count in my practices, trying to reach that 100 arrow count every day I step into the range. By doing so, it's really going to help you on your 4th and 5th arrow and stay strong and don't start getting the shakes or holding longer trying to keep it in the center. Shooting more arrows during your practice time is going to help you perform better in tournaments when you have to shoot a ton of arrows. Next would be blank bailing. This is something that I really have stressed, especially with the archers that I've personally been working with, is blank bailing. A lot of people hate it because it's boring, but I like to just listen to some music, shoot in my basement, and shoot like 10 arrows an end. Something that you don't typically do in tournaments, but when you go to a tournament or go to practice on the 5 spot, 5 arrows is going to be nothing if all you've been doing blank bailing is shooting 10 arrows an end. So your body's going to be used to that torture of shooting many arrows in a short amount of time. My third tip of the day is to not get sloppy. I've already seen this with me practicing with the 5 spot, but the X ring is the same size as the outer 10 ring of the Vegas face. And for me, I tend to just get sloppy. You need to remember, you still need to make perfect shots and stare at the middle and try to hit the exact middle. So what I've been doing is shooting a 5 spot game and then shooting a 3 spot game for inner 10. So still trying to hit those perfect dead center shots at the inner 10 and scoring, but then getting the endurance at a 5 spot round. So I've been switching back and forth between the 5 spot and what I normally shoot, the 3 spot, to still get those consistent shots. Shooting the 5 spot, it's different colors. It's white and blue, different than the yellow, red, and blue, and black, and white that we've been shooting for the FIDA targets. So what I did this year is switch to an orange dot. Now, I really never shot an orange dot before, and on top of it being an orange dot, it's a bigger orange dot than what I've typically been using. I use a smaller black dot for shooting FIDA stuff, but I switched to the orange dot, and it pretty much fills up the entire white. And it's orange, so I can see it if it ever fades into the blue a little bit, where a black dot, if it fades into that dark blue, you're not going to be able to see it very well. So one thing I would suggest if you're shooting maybe a black dot is to try out an orange dot, or just mess around with them a little bit and see what you really like. Last but not least, it's been around forever, at least I've been hearing it for quite some time now, is lengthening your draw length just a tad. Now this may sound kind of weird for people that have never heard it before, but lengthening your draw length just a tad is going to slow your pin movement on the target. And what I mean by slow is it's going to have slow and consistent movements, and you're really going to be able to trace it. And shooting a little bit bigger bullseye of the X-ring instead of the tiny inner X-ring of the FIDA target, you're going to be able to be more consistent within that entire X-ring. Now for a FIDA small baby X shooter, you might want to shorten up your draw length just a tad. I'm talking just maybe a couple twists in the cable. And then shortening your draw length is going to allow you to get a very small consistent holding with your dot, and maybe you'll have a jump every now and again. Most recently, I've heard this tip from George Riles. So this year, I lengthened my draw length just a tad, and I really noticed a difference in my holding patterns and my consistency with 60Xs. So I hope my tips in today's video will help you master the 5 spot target a little bit better. And good luck in Lousiville, guys, and maybe I'll see you there.